I think it's the correct decision for Francis to fight John Jones because getting knocked out that quickly, he's about to have his a newborn son as well. Needs to take that time off.
Yeah.
If he's to go fight Francis Ngannou again, we knew that when he fought Francis the first time, he absorbed a lot of punishment, and then when he went quickly into the fight against Daniel Cormier, chin wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Got knocked out. Right. He needs to take that time off because when you get brutally knocked out like that at his age, and he has taken some shots, he needs to have the time off. Right. And Ngannou typically wants to fight next June or July, which is what he asked for, a June or July fight. That should be against John Jones.
Yeah.
Now, it got interesting now in the last 24 hours because John Jones actually put out... He felt disrespected by Dana. Dana mentioned that if I'm John Jones, I would go down to 185 now. Or I would go back to 205. And a lot of people were making jokes like, as soon as Ngannou knocked out Stipe, they were all saying...
John Jones realised he's got to fight Francis now. There's a picture of John Jones crying.
Yeah, and he moves down to light heavyweight now. He also feels a bit disrespected because Dana is making it out to be that he doesn't want to fight Ngannou. He doesn't want to fight at all, right?
I think the proposition was brought up before, and
apparently the next proposed fight is supposed to be next week. So they're going to offer a fight to John next week, which will most likely be Ngannou for a certain amount of a certain figure, right? But he's not happy with the current figures, and that's the issue.
Yeah.
Dana likes to do this thing, and everybody knows that he likes to say, "Oh, he doesn't want to fight." Hey, if you don't want to fight, don't fight. And it's not him. He's bullshitting, right? Because they obviously do want to fight. He says that to piss someone off, so they go, "Hey, I'm not a fucking pussy. I'll take the money. I'll knock him. I'll beat him. I'll knock him out."
Yeah.
Right. But it's his way of igniting the ego in a fighter, which is easy to ignite, by the way, and then getting them to sign the dotted line for less money than they actually wanted to, just by getting their ego involved. And that's what he's trying to do to John Jones, because I don't think anyone would disagree. John has one of the biggest egos in the game. He's a little sociopath, to be honest. Yeah, if anyone's a sociopath in the UFC, I would give it to I would give it to John. But I want John to fight. I want him to fight Francis. I think that'd be an incredible fight. Maybe June, July. We know we've stacked on a little bit of size. He doesn't really want a warm-up fight or...
he wants to go straight for the title.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, whenever it's a champion moving to another division, even though he has relinquished the belt, typically they go right to the top. You know, there's no warm-up fight. There's no tune-up. There's no tune-up, and you certainly can't tune up for someone like Francis. So I expect Francis Ngannou versus John Jones to be occurring in maybe July, as long as Jones gets the figure he is hoping for. It's
a special case, but it's a bit dangerous when a champion either relinquishes the title and then tries to go straight away up to fight for the title. Like, it's such a gamble. Like, Izzy tried to go up and fight Yarn for that title, for the double champ status. TJ Dillashaw tried to drop down, take Henry Cejudo, for that double champ status as well. It's dangerous. It's a very, very dangerous move.
It's a dangerous move where only so many have done it.
Yeah,
Very, very few have done it simultaneously, and very, very few have also done it just vacating the belt and going else and winning 2 titles in 2 separate divisions.
Yeah, well, if you look at the back of the past, though, if there's anyone who's got a good enough resume to try and at least who has the best shot, it has to be John Jones because of the amount of title defenses he's had. He's had such a good record. If we just discount that one loss that he's had,
and the accusations.
And the accusations and the fact that he was a champion since he was 22. Yeah, he has a strong enough argument for it. 23. So, it's
hard to think. A year older than us, UFC light heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah,
that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's very synonymous with like Mike Tyson being the heavyweight champion of the world, 20 years old. I think it was 19, 20 years
19, 20, yeah.
Yeah, insane. So, props to Francis. I didn't expect. Look, Francis only needs to hit you with one punch, right? And he only really needs to connect once. Stipe took his best shots, but Francis Ngannou just fought at a nice, relaxed pace with really high-intensity bursts of energy. And look, you can only take so many shots until you just can't. And that was what happened with Stipe. I think the issue with Stipe and why that happened was he has really good head movement, right? And he took some of Ngannou's best shots and he moved through, right? There was a time in the second round where Stipe was getting caught, right? And instead of pulling away and recognizing Ngannou's power, he was a little bit too overconfident, and he went in and he walked into that shot.
Yeah, he did. After getting rocked, he tried to strike back straight away, and he was already wobbly. He was already slow.
Yes, and I think Chael Sonnen also mentioned that when he went for the takedown, he actually did it incorrectly. He went onto the wrong side. His head was on the wrong side, and essentially he says he's attempting to take down the larger man. He's trying rather than go for the single leg and take him down that way. I think it was an issue with game plan and an issue with maybe confidence, right? I thought Stipe was very confident at the start, but he was kind of taking it just easy. And he says, look, I've taken your best punches until he couldn't, right? And I think it was overconfidence, and I think game plan was incorrect. I think he really should have... Some of his strikes weren't connecting that well, right? There was one overhand that caught Ngannou flush, but the rest of the punches didn't hit Ngannou that clean. I think the issue was game plan, right? Stipe is very good with just stepping off the line, very good head movement. It's one of his best traits. Head movement, slip, right hand over the top. It's so clean. He's got very crisp boxing coming from a Golden Gloves champion, right? But his issue was he tried to go for the takedown, didn't work, and he kind of just abandoned it. Which doesn't make sense against someone like Francis Ngannou. I didn't know why. Maybe he could fake the takedown and then go up to the head. And then as soon as he hits him, go back to the takedown, take him down, flustered, take him down. Ngannou took him down.
Yeah. Well, what was
something we didn't expect at all.
Well, I think what really rocked him is when Ngannou defended that takedown really well and slipped to the side and just hit him with a barrage of punches. And he was trying to get back up and he was hitting him.
He worked his way up to the feet very well.
Yeah, and then he just countered it and made him pay for it. And I think that's when Stipe started to get a little bit wobbly and a little bit rocked over that. And he was just trying to cruise around the cage to survive the end of the round. I just feel like it was definitely an improvement of Francis overall. And I just can't really say other than that. I mean, he just showed up and he just was the better man on the night, really.
He was the better man on the night, yeah, for sure.
Anyway.
With Stipe, though, he made a few errors. I think he made a few mistakes. And with someone like... When he fought Francis Ngannou, he was very composed himself, right? But the way he was fighting made Francis very flustered. Very... Didn't know what was going on. And he was getting very upset and agitated. This is a completely different Francis Ngannou. Calm Ngannou is very scary because he can fight at a pace with really fast bursts of energy right off his back foot. And it was impressive. He managed to grapple and take down Stipe, but he also managed to move around very defensively. And he stuffed the first takedown against Stipe very well as well. So I think it was a combination of what Ngannou did right, especially conditioning, and his game plan, and it was also a combination of Stipe making mistakes. I think he made a mistake. He clearly got hit with a big shot, and I don't know if he was paying attention that well, but he circled over to the right, and he just circled into the right hand, got clipped, and it was horrible seeing that back leg get stuck underneath him, and it just flicks up underneath, and Ngannou just goes on and boom, big hammer fist.
Yeah, that hammer fist was quite scary to watch. Herb Dean had to dive in to save him.
He needs to work on his 50-meter dash because it sucks. I do want to raise one thing though. Do you think the smaller octagon made that knockout, like the likelihood of that knockout, more possible?
Absolutely.
I think so, because that 30% smaller,
Not even that, but if you're talking
they're
about
huge.
people who've
The
got,
heavyweights, they're massive.
they're
take up so
massive.
much
They got a
space.
massive reach advantage over each other. I'm pretty sure Nagano had a reach advantage over.
I think it wasn't huge,
But it
the-
had
but
some.
he had a huge
Yeah.
size advantage. The
Yeah.
weight, he had 32 pounds on him.
Plus,
That's
they take up
insane.
more space if they're a heavyweight.
Exactly.
They're 6'4", 6'3". It's just
I think someone like Stipe needs the larger cage against
yeah,
someone that's
more room to
fucking
move,
huge.
especially since that you have more room to more space to move around, and that way they can chase you and you can sort of like wear them out a little bit. You know, it's
Also, there's no cage for you to actually push off to
Yeah.
defend the takedown.
Yeah.
Well,